DJ Moore connection again. So played pretty good.
But Dan, I mean, what are you sitting there going, hey, we got 5 sacks, but didn't we just play the team that has allowed the most sacks in the NFL? Shouldn't we have gotten sacks?
Yeah.
Hey,
definitely.
I can praise it. All right.
Well, hey, let's look at some stats real quick. There we go. It's rare to see all those check marks on the Bear side. Yeah, I mean, look at third down efficiency is still an issue with them converting 6 of them. I think the check mark on fourth down efficiency should go their side because that's for one, I think we win that. Look at allowed 3 sacks, which actually, let's talk O-line real quick. Allowing 3 sacks against that defensive front, which everyone lauds as being a real good defensive front, actually, I thought was a good takeaway. And, I know we bitched about the O-line for the last 2 years, but fellas, is it fair to say the O-line's not the problem, on the offensive side of the ball?
No, it's not. I don't think they're making holes. Lucas Patrick got hurt again, concussion. So they put Whitehair in. Whitehair had a little tough start with the snaps. Thank God Justin Fields athletic, because a lot of quarterbacks in the league, those would have been fumbles. But, yeah, I mean, our offensive line held up for Justin Fields for 2 weeks in a row. So we're fluctuating our offensive line around again. I just want one solid offensive line, and hopefully they can do the same thing that they're doing the last 2 weeks.
I mean, I guess the good thing there, Dan, is with those flexing the line's still holding. It means maybe we have a little better depth than we thought. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely.
And DJ Moore, I mean, well, how do we not talk about this? 8 catches, 230 yards, 3 touchdowns, 28.8 yards after the catch. Believe it or not, he did a signing already this week, and he's inscribing helmets with the 233 TDs inscription. People are already getting it. I mean, career day for him. I mean, it was funny because the guys on Amazon were like, well, he just made the Pro Bowl today.
Well, not just that. That was a franchise record as well.
Yeah. And look, it's not that. And let's be clear too, though. It wasn't all Moore. He wasn't the only one targeted as far as wide receivers. Now, Mooney didn't really. There was definite pass interference in the end zone. So he got targeted 4 times.
There's twice that DJ Moore should have got pass interference, but
but Mooney. People are like, oh, but Mooney. We're hearing he didn't do anything, but he got targeted. But obviously, pass interference on the one. There was no flag in the end zone. He had a good game too. People, don't realize they had to account for him still. I would like to see maybe more than 4 targets, but let's see. We got PFF grades too, don't we, Mike? Yeah, there we go. Look at some good PFF grades there, I think. Don't you guys think?
Yeah, Terrell, let me tell you, when our DBs are hurt and they're out for a little bit, Terrell Smith's been filling in pretty fucking good for our cornerbacks that are injured. I like him as a rookie. He's been playing pretty solid the last couple weeks.
Dexter as well.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, stat-wise, I mean, Jesus. This is the year. Edwards has been, pre-show, we were talking about Edwards. Like, I can't get him off my starting lineup in fantasy. The guy's just lighting up the points. I mean,
to add to this right there, it's not just the Bears leaders. It's the number 1 in the NFL in those stats.
Yeah, that's just – I mean, of course, we still got, everyone else to play this week. So it's a little cheating on our end. But, hey, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. Look, I mean, these offseason acquisitions, I think Edwards and Edmonds have panned out, especially Edwards. The secondary's a little banged up. Stevenson made some nice plays Thursday night. I mean, he wasn't spectacular, but and we got no personal fouls on him this week, so that was good. I mean, he's been looking good. Considering all the injuries we have on both sides of the ball, guys, not only I think should we be happy about Thursday, but impressed because we did it without a lot of starters.
Especially on the defensive backside.
Yep.
3 of them were hurt out of the 5.
Well, and like Woody said, running backs, no, we just got a fullback now. So, and Fields, I can't believe after this game, and there you go, Woody, your boy just got another rushing touchdown.
Who's that? Oh, Etienne? Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think he just ran one in.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, he just ran another long one. It was a long run too. But I mean, if 35-yard run on that one, Woody. But a lot of guys are even still like after this game. Oh, we're still going to draft the kid from USC at quarterback. Well, guys, look it.
He ain't coming out.
Dude, come on.
Right.
Really?
This is what we wanted. We want
Yeah.
Fields to break out. This is our make and break it season, or his season this year. If he keeps continuing like this, losing games, but his stats are up. We might change some coaches around. It gives our 2 number 1 picks next year positions we definitely need: offensive line, defensive line, and stuff like that we can keep Fields, build a team around him.
Well, over 1,100 yards, and 600 of those yards came in the last 2 games. So definitely play calling and Fields has been playing better. The protection's been better. You know what I mean? For sure.
I think the connection between Fields and Moore, I think it's 571 yards if I'm correct. So that connection's special.
Hey, Dan, you notice this too? After Fields makes his comments about the coaches, all of a sudden we start to see more of this.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah.
So, I mean, coaching's everything, and I was hot on the coaching after the last loss that shouldn't have been a loss against Denver. It's not that I actually think we'll go after Marvin Harrison Jr. Could you see him with DJ? I mean, my God. I don't mind us going after a wide receiver with one of the first 2 picks, and then getting defensive edge, or defensive line. That'd be crazy. All right, well, let's go to some studs and duds. Let's do that, and then we'll talk about some other stats in that. Let me throw this over to Dan. Dan, why don't you go kick us off with studs and duds, man?
Obvious would be DJ Moore, but I'm going to, because we lost all of our running backs the other day, why not blasting game coming in there and, playing a little bit,
He did have 8 carries for 26 yards. So, I mean, decent when they asked upon him.
And I was reading, he hasn't really run the, he hasn't really done much. So
I think they were saying he had 0 touches up until that point. So, I guess take it around, Mike.
Oh, for studs, I'm actually going to have to move it to the defensive side of the ball. Our defensive back has been banged up, and Strowman came in here and played a great game. He not only had a sack, he also had an interception as well. So he had 7 tackles, 4 solo. So he played outstanding, I thought, coming straight off the bench. Not to mention that Bears defensive line finally doing a little something. How many sacks did they get Sunday?
5.
That's the way it should be. I'm not saying 5 every week, but 3 to 5 would be nice for sure. And my dud, I personally don't have a dud this week. Everything seemed to go good.
Woody?
Well, since everybody's taken my players, douchebag Mike. So
I got to go.
because I don't take anybody's picks. But anyway, since Strowman was my stud, but I'm going to go out on the limb because, like I always do, since everybody's picking Fields more, whatever. Santos, 4 for 4. And my dud, I'm sorry, Ken, even though that you said that he played good, he got targeted 4 times, but Mooney is my dud for this week. The targets mean that it's either he's trying to get open or what, but 4 targets to Mooney without a catch, and he was supposed to be our clear number 2. He's my dud of the week.
No, I can get behind it. By the way, Josh Allen just rushed for a touchdown. It's a 5-point game with 2:11 left in London. No, I can see that, Woody. I mean, so for studs,
Besides me,
I'm going to go with the O-line. The offensive line, they're my studs this week because, for all the hell we've thrown their way over the last 2 seasons, I think ever since the KC game, it's starting to become even more clear that, look, the O-line's actually pretty damn good. Considering that Fields is able to hold the ball the second most amount of time in the league. Yeah, he takes a lot of sacks, but then again, he's holding the ball, more than anyone else besides whose name is not Patrick Mahomes. So the O-line's been getting it done. They definitely got it done this week. My duds is going to be the coaching staff because once again, we came up from halftime and the adjustments were horrid. Now, luckily, unlike last week, they were able to make another adjustment in the fourth quarter and not lose the game. But coming out of the tunnel at halftime, the halftime adjustments were terrible. Bears, I mean, we all had that feeling like, oh, great, here we go again in the third quarter because the offensive and defensive adjustments were just terrible. Actually, and they were even worse on the defensive side of the ball because it felt like third quarter started, we were in a prevent, it felt like. Like Washington just came out and moved the ball at will. So the coaching staff is still my dud this week because they got to get better with the adjustments because we beat a good football team. Washington is definitely a good football team, but we can't do that against better offenses because we got lucky they have a rookie, not a rookie quarterback, but a young quarterback who's still going to who made some young quarterback mistakes.
Yeah, Ken, that's what fucking pissed me off too because they only had 14 yards, I think, in the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that. If we're playing like a Buffalo, Kansas City, and we're winning at halftime by that much, which we probably never will be, but just saying, they're going to come back and they could be easily up by 14, 17 points going into the fourth quarter if we play like that every time in the third. So they gotta fucking buckle down in the third quarter and come out and play the same, as they're doing in the first quarter. Don't lax. So yeah, I believe it's the coaching and the play calling.
Your stud was the offensive line. I agree with you for sure. Right? He's been playing outstanding for a rookie. And Jenkins, as long as he stays healthy, he plays amazing. Like he was obviously our best lineman Sunday. Didn't give up any pressures, nothing.
Well, we're gonna see him more because
we got some injuries on the line. I mean, Whitehair is Whitehair, a guy who was a Pro Bowler at center, sure had some wonky snaps. But I get it. It's in the middle of the game. You're getting thrown in. But we have versatility. We've got a couple starters out. We definitely have an O-line that really – well, look, it doesn't mean I'm going to say stop drafting O-line, right? I think you always need to add depth in the trenches. But the O-line's getting it done. Now they can get better, but they're getting it done. Well, hey, I guess we can get into this. I mean, I have a bunch of other stats we can go into for the season, but you know what? Let's get into the Chase Claypool thing. Now, I'll go last in this because I have some pretty distinct feelings on this. But Dan, what do you think about the Claypool trade to Miami? Remember, the trade was Chase and our 7th rounder in 2025 for Miami's 2025 6th rounder.
To tell you the truth, I thought it would have been a good pickup when we got him, but hadn't done anything. So, I hate to see him go, but do what we got to do.
Woody, I know you got something.
He's a douchebag. I believe that we could have traded him to Miami without giving up one of our picks. A good straight up trade. We didn't have to give up that 7th. But like I said, he caused it, 2 fights in the training camp and stuff like that. He was already a head case. And, the thing that I'm confused about is what he said about is the Bears using, or the coaches using him to his ability. He said no. But then you got Moore and Fields complaining about coaching as well, and they didn't get any discipline or anything. So I think when Claypool said that and they told him to stay home, you knew it was getting done. But it's no loss for us. We got plenty of backup. We won without him. We played good last week without him against Denver. They came back and won. So I don't think it's a real big loss for us.
Mike?
I don't think it's a real big loss either. I mean, yeah, we lost on the trade because we gave a 2nd-round pick for him. You know what I mean? But obviously, it's better to get something than nothing. He wasn't happy. He wasn't doing much on the field. He was having issues in practice. So, I mean, sometimes you just got to cut loose. You know what I mean? And I agree with Woody. I don't think we could have kept our 7th rounder there. Swapping out picks, that was just could have been a little better than that. I heard they were trying to get a 5th rounder, but obviously you're not going to get a 5th rounder when he hasn't done much. Now the question is, what's he going to do in Miami? Is he going to burn us?
Well, no,
he's going to go off in Miami. I guarantee you he's going to go off.
I'm surprised.
Because that's what happens when you trade a guy who's quote unquote disgruntled from a team and he goes somewhere else. What does he always do? They go off every time. I think, look, you can say this. GMs swing and miss on certain trades. There are guys, fire Polish because of this trade. Look at on paper last year, that it was a good trade. I think 90% of why he's gone is because he spoke out on the coaches. And, well, at the end of the day, he became the scapegoat for all the because you're right, Woody. Moore said it. Fields said it. Chase says it. Oh, but Chase is the bad guy and has to be traded. Look at week 1. He had a terrible week 1. He came out and said, guys, look, he owned it. I had a terrible week 1. I played like crap. I gave up. I'll never do it again. And then he came out week 2 and played great. So, honestly, as a player, I think he would have been okay. He was happy with it. Look at him and Cole Kmet are old friends. He was happy to be here overall. I don't think he had a problem with any of his teammates in that regard. I think his problem was with the coaching staff and that he is the scapegoat. Now watch, he's going to go to Miami with that trio of wide receivers now when you throw him in there. Whew, Miami's going to go off. They got to steal. They raped us. But look, at the same time, because the media and everyone else making such a big ballyhoo about how terrible Chase Claypool is, that feeds into the why we don't get anything for him.
Well,
he's a lot better than what we got and what we gave.
I'm surprised Miami took him because they got Waddle, they got Hill. I mean, they have the number 1 offense in the league already. There's other teams
low risk, high reward.
Yeah, there could have been other teams out there. I guess other teams didn't want them, and Miami says, "What the fuck? Might as well get them for shit."
Well, look what Miami's doing: low cost for a high possibility.
It's low risk, high reward for them. I mean, crap, you don't get any better. Yeah. And speaking of Kmet, look at finally after he signs the extension, which is funny because usually a guy signs the extension, they kind of slough, right? They got their money. Not Kmet, man. This is probably his best season to date as a Bear. And it's nice to finally see the Bears use a tight end consistently, which we haven't done since. I'm trying to think when. Jay Cutler era, maybe.
The play calling has been a lot better.
See, and that's the addition. That's what's helping out Kmet is the addition of Moore because all the eyes are on him. And in the beginning of the year, when we got Moore and we had our surprises and stuff like that, I did say Kmet is going to be our dark horse this year, and I'm glad that he's coming through. So,
well, I mean, we started to see it at the end of last season though too. So we're starting to see that connection. Let's get into some defense because I know. Look at that. Mike was itching to get this up there. Edwards and Edmonds tougher than Edwards. look at pretty good stat line through the first 5 games.
The solo tackles is what brings that out. 30 solo tackles in 5 weeks.
Yeah.
That's pretty good for
He's
a linebacker.
Everywhere too. Everywhere. But I mean, Edmonds is not that far behind him. I mean, our linebacking core has been playing outstanding, but that's also the lack of defensive line. But our defensive line played pretty well against Washington, for sure. But there's actually 2 stats that everybody's going to love. And, yeah, they haven't played yet. But when have we ever got to say this?
Well, yeah, I mean.
Well, you know what John Dorn's going to come on and say, right? Well, how many interception and fumbles does Justin Fields have?
You know what, Woody? I knew exactly what you were going to say. Bring in John Dorn. So let's just go ahead and bring up Brady in the mix.
There you go. There's my stat.
career games.
Yeah.
Well, hey, speaking of legends, and we haven't touched on this, and I've actually put it in my tag below. Let's talk legends real quick. We found now this is what surprised me. We knew mid-afternoon about Dick Butkus' passing. Yep. The team did not even find out until they were on the field, and the Redskins put it up on the Jumbotron big board, whatever. But hey, we lost a legend Thursday. Over the last couple years, I think more fans got to know Dick Butkus because he out of the blue joined Twitter. He joined Discord. He had his own server. He started to interact more on social media.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you.
We lost a legend on Thursday. The guy, that era of Bears football, if you think about it, Sayers, who passed last year, Butkus, because they were drafted together, Ditka, that era, they redefined the running back, the tight end, and the linebacker, that team, and so we lost a legend. Look, our heroes aren't getting any younger.
I was surprised that you said that, Ken, about the not noticing that he passed away until the Bears got on the field, because they showed the crowd in the stands. Do you see how many Butkus jerseys were being worn? Young kids, young guys, older guys, whatever. I was like, wow, they're really bringing them out.
When they talked to Justin, it was, the nice thing about winning on Thursday Night Football, they brought him on for post game, right? And they asked him about it. He said, no, we didn't even hear about it until we got on the field and we saw it on the board. So, I mean, I don't know if that was a conscious effort by the Bears organization not to tell the team before the game, or what, that's another reason why the coaching staff were my duds. How do you not tell the team about Dick Butkus before the game at some point?
Distraction, my.
No, I'm with you, but you're talking to Ken.
Yeah.
But no, speaking of Butkus, perfect time to do a giveaway. The next giveaway is going to be something signed by Dick Butkus. We are almost there, only 500 more followers, and we're finally at the 10K. Once we get to 10K, I will do something on my page. It will be a post. Even you guys on the panel can be qualified. It'll be the first 100 people that comment on a post. I'm not going to say when it is, but as soon as we reach 10K, I'll do that, and then we'll do a giveaway on the live.
And please follow. We want to reach 10K because everybody on this panel will start getting paid for our podcasts.
He's lying. That's not the truth.
Woody's like, hey, have we drawn up our contracts yet? Yeah, our contracts are this. Hey, I let you be on the feed with me.
I'm fucking holding out. Fuck yous.
Hey,
what he saying?
He left.
Right.
Well, hey, I think he's also got some bragging rights right now. not updated with this week, but I think we all took an L this week. So we're probably all three, so Woody's probably 2-3.
Yep.
Coming into Thursday, this is where we were at. I know I took an L because I went with the Redskins. Boy, we are not predicting games too well. Do anyone have any games they want to predict today? Any score predictions for today?
I want to predict. Hey, I'm going to call the upset tonight. I think that's an interesting game. Dallas has a hell of a defense, better in defense than in the past couple of years. And I think they're going to get in on Purdy. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. McCaffrey's going to be the key. I know Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, blah, 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 Ayuk, whatever, George Kittle. George Kittle's his stats are down this year. But I think Dallas has a lot better team than they had in the past going against San Francisco. I'm going to pick Dallas tonight with the upset.
All right. Dan, you got a pick for today?
Kansas City is going to beat the daylights out of the Vikings.
Poor Dan. Come on. That's our NFC brother, man.
Well, actually, I'm going to go the opposite of Dan. I never really pick with us, but I'm in a survivor pool, and I got the Lions over the Panthers. So I hope the Lions roll over the Panthers, even though they got some injuries problems.
Yeah, it's going to be a whole lot of David Montgomery today.
Yep.
So the game I'm going to watch is actually the Panthers and the Lions as well. This is a trap game for the Lions. I was on the morning show a couple days ago. On Friday, we were talking about, this is definitely a trap game for the Lions. The Panthers are not a pushover. They got a pretty good defense. Yep. They got some tools on offense. That's one game I'm going to be watching. I think the Lions will win the game. So that's not going to be my prediction game. But,
You're predicting Jacksonville to win, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going to take Jacksonville.
Done deal.
In fact, I'm going to make the score 25-20.
Yeah, right.
That's the score. Your boy E getting 2 rushing touchdowns. No, I think I'm going to do this Jets-Denver game because two teams are in. Well, Denver looks on the way up, and actually so do the Jets. Even though they lost to KC, it looks like they're finally rebounding from the loss of Rodgers. I'm going to take the Jets in this game. They'll go over the Broncos, and I'm going to get them to get this ship of theirs going straight. And I think the Jets are our dark horse playoff team right now. But that AFC East is just monster from top to bottom. So yeah, don't forget, guys. Also, because we're coming into game time here, Halas Report every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. Central. Every Sunday we join us here at 11:30 a.m. Central for pregame. And we'll be doing our thing, and we'll be back on Wednesday as we'll talk more Bears football or preview our next game, which will be against the Vikings. So it's a war week. We might have some Viking fans on if they will want to show their face after getting dismantled by the Swifties. I mean the Chiefs this week. And yeah, we'll see. Actually, I might watch that game just to see if Taylor Swift is there, right? Why not? Everyone else is. But that's our schedule here. Don't forget to win some signed Chicago Bears merch. We just talked about that. We get 500 more folks. We hit that milestone. We get some Butkus stuff out. Like and share the page. Also, don't forget every morning, 11 a.m. Central. There we go. We got the NFL main event, football talk. Every morning, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. I've hopped on a few times. Woody's hopped on a few times. Mike when he can, Dan when he can. But we're talking division football. The Bears seem to be on everyone's mind. Even when we were losing, that's all you could talk about. So we're represented there a lot. Don't forget also we've got the Valhalla Report, which I believe is Tuesdays now, which is the Vikings guys. On Fridays, those dudes up in Green Bay, the Packer fans, they have their show on Fridays for Frozen Tundra. And then the Lions are doing Monday nights before they also do an open mic. So check them out as well, as we're all kind of connected and working and doing things together. So check them all out. Give it some likes. Go to the Mike Bear Fando like us, share us. Let's get to that benchmark. Let's give away a Dit Butkus signed item. I'm lucky enough. I have a Dit Butkus signed Hall of Fame mini helmet. So the one bad thing I did see, guys, was like Friday, people were already selling Dit Butkus signed merch. And I was like, really? I hate when guys do that when players pass, and that day and the next day, people are already trying to sell their stuff. Just terrible. But anyways, guys, enjoy the games today. What do you got a final thought for us today on a non-Bears Sunday?
Like I said, there's going to be a lot of interesting games today. And like I said, I'm looking forward to tonight's game. It's going to be a barn burner. And I picked Dallas with the upset. And next, I did my Woody wrap-up for the Thursday night. So you'll hear the Woody wrap-up next Sunday before we beat the Vikings.
And we're coming off the long week. And not to mention, last but not least, the last giveaway for last month. We will be doing that either Wednesday night or Sunday morning. I'm actually just waiting on the item that I want to give away. But everybody enjoy the games, and we'll see everybody Wednesday.
Bear the fuck down.
See you Wednesday. Bear down.